of the culture that lives on the land. And so consequently, the law of the land is different in every country. You can do things in America you can't do in Russia. You can do things in Africa you can't do in England. So the law of the land is the law of the culture that lives on that particular land. However, there is a higher law that dominates the entire world. It's called the law of the water, or the law of the high seas. The law of water is referred to as the law of money. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, or where you live. Money is money. And anytime you're doing banking or using money, you are now under the law of water, maritime admiralty. If you go back in history, in ancient history, where all of this began, back in the land of Canaan, and you probably have heard in the Bible, the land of Canaan. The Canaanites were Phoenician bloodline, and in the ancient Phoenician language, Cana meant merchant, banker. The very word merchant comes from mer, M-E-R, for the sea, for water. As in mermaid, we have merchant. Merchant, bankers. Let me give an example of the difference between the law of water and the law of the land. The law of water, as I said, is a law of banking, money, as opposed to the law of the custom of the people or the law of the land. The Statue of Liberty must be put in water. It could not be put on American land as such. It had to be put in the harbor because it's not the Statue of Freedom. It's a Statue of Liberty. Liberty is what a sailor gets when he pulls into port on a ship. He gets liberty. He's not free. So America is not the land of the free and the home of the brave. We're not free or brave, period. We're not free. This is not a free country.
Been in between there, I think it's kind of waking us up to, oh wait, it's like, oh, it's all experts. It's not just those ones. It's also those ones and also those ones. And it's not just the ones in the White House or in, that kind of field. It's also the ones that are coming on our podcast. It's also the ones that are going out and doing media appearances. And I think people are starting to wake up to the big picture.
And I think the big picture makes us ask questions about what is university really about? Right?
Oh, yeah.
What is university actually about? And it is a way to just indoctrinate people into these various cults of understanding, believing in their own expertise, but not even knowing where their expertise originates from. And that's why I said going backwards and speaking about Hollywood, reading these books, these old books, or, reading this newer book from Jeffrey Masson, where he kind of goes back and he just tells the truth. I just read Sigmund Freud's own pieces of paper, and his own studies and his own journals and his own diaries. And he still got gaslit and called all of these things and had to fight for his life and his reputation. And I feel blessed. I don't know this guy. I haven't reached out, but that I can finally give a platform for this man who fought such a noble fight to expose the entire field of psychology. But what are we to think of the fact that they knew this and Sigmund Freud is still celebrated in our
And some of them were not what I needed for the film.
Okay, guys. So this is the topic of the day, man. The point is that if you listen to these guys explain it, they're pretty much telling you you've been lied to, and a lot of people, it's easier to lie to people and fool people than it is to let them know that they've been fooled and lied, and actually have them receive that positively. The point is, so when you had the dude called the Mahdi over there, let me see where I got this at. We had the Mahdi guy over here talking about, oh, Paul is fake, the Christians are fake, the Jews are fake, the Muslims are fake. He just starts calling everybody out. He does the 50 Cent pretty much. He does the 50 Cent pretty much. Now, and he's like, oh, Jesus Christ is this and that. And I'm like, okay. See, this ties right back into what Candace was saying, how people just have these degrees and they just are reinforced, and it's just, it's reinforced negative like stuff that just doesn't work like the way that we're taught it works, and it's a cycle that just keeps on going and eating us up, and it replaces itself. It self-replicates through us, and we allow this to happen, and we're fools for it, and very few recognize it, and then the few that do recognize it are crucified or slain or beaten the hell out of and getting wiped out and all type of experimented on. So pretty much, like, the Mahdi guy, he comes out and he just starts accusing everybody, right? See, me, what I did is different. See, like, even my name in real life totally trumps that guy. Like, my actual birth given name trumps that guy. And he's talking about he's the only one. No, bro, he's not. No, that doesn't work like that. No. So, because I know through my trials and tribulations and what I've seen and how I've experienced life, that it's not all as cracked out to be with everybody else. Because I've always wondered, since I was a young child, about how people see life through their eyes, if they see it the same way that I do, because I wonder if there was a multiverse of perspective in the same, inhabiting the same space. Hell, pretty much, Hades going on. So, like, I understood it from a very young age, and I was at war with it at a very young age. A child, literally, bro. Like 4, 5, 6, 7, from 4 years old on up. Even since birth, like it's always been like a duality going on with me. So I understand what's going on. What these guys talking about Mahdi and Antichrist and this and that, he's a distraction. The Romanian part of it is, you guys are missing out on this. You know what I mean? You guys are not understanding the whole point of the English. You're not understanding this point, right? The Transylvanian, Romanian bloodline, that's the point. That's the land. That's what we're talking about. You guys are missing over that bite. That double-fanged, two-pronged pitchfork mouth. You guys are missing out on that part. The double-minded man. It's already taken stage, and it's already in full effect. And you got Trump. He wears more than one man. Just say that. So look, man, when they say that you had the 4 horsemen, the 4 horsemen are also like the 8 kings. They all have one mind, all right? So the four horsemen, I shouldn't even say the four horsemen, but the false prophet, the Antichrist, the dragon, and death. They all have the same. My bad. Hold on. Let me say this right. Death, the false prophet, the Antichrist, and the beast all have one mind. Okay? They all have one mind. They have the mind of the dragon, Satan. Okay? So, and Hades also is there, because death comes with Hades. Okay? You have Poseidon there. That's the sea. The sea is in Revelations. All this is in Revelations. Okay? So what I'm saying is, that's what everybody's in an uproar about right now with the Mahdi talking over there. And he said there's many of them. And they're like, oh, he's supposed to help Jesus Christ. Well, if you ever want to look at a Mahdi helping Jesus, if you want to call him Jesus, it would be when the Magi was there at Yeshaya's birth. Okay? In the manger. When Yeshaya was born with Miriam, a Magi had come amongst them and helped him, blessed him. Alright? Like it was one big operation going on at that time. His whole birth was an operation. Remember, the firstborn in the kingdom were being slaughtered. Alright? So there was a lot of codes and stuff. How does he know to even be there? He has to move through death and darkness just to get there in the first place. It was dark times. Alright? So look, man, that is what the story is. The prophecy is about something that has already happened. Because it said, as in the beginning, so too shall it be in the end. Okay? Because I told you in my previous videos, which is always a bit of part of my ministry, is that as in the beginning, so too shall be in the end. That's how you judge the spirit by the spirit. You judge the fruit by the fruit. Okay? You judge the spirit by the fruit. You understand that you two cannot go down the same road unless they be in accord. So as in the beginning, so too shall in the end are going down the same road. Okay? Now, that's how you have grace and salvation. Okay? By the grace of salvation. Okay? Like, salvation is grace, first off. And then by grace alone, you can receive, you are even aware of salvation. Alright? So there's a whole nother, like, it's just, you're not understanding that the life is splendid. Alright? The everlasting life is splendid with this one. Alright? The two messengers. They try to kill grace, they try to kill salvation. They try to kill salvation, they try to kill grace. Alright? But you still have, like, the biggest stories ever told is of salvation by grace. That's what you guys are not understanding. Okay. By grace alone. Because he's taking the cake. Okay? So, now when you have, let's see, after grace, which is who you call John, okay, or Enoch. As in the beginning, Enoch, so too shall be in the end. John, as in the beginning, Yah, who Enoch walked with, so too shall be in the end. Yeshaya, who John baptized, and then another John walked with. Okay, so then they explain this. Let me pause this while the youth walk by. Okay, now that all the fuss has passed by, let's talk. Alright, hear me out now. Now, I got another thing for you. like I said, this language we speak in English, we're speaking legion, okay? It's comprised mostly of legion. When you say Latin, it's legion. The demon legion, yes, that legion. The water spirit legion, yes, that legion. The children of the fallen legion, yes, that legion. Okay? The one who has to be dealt with when Yeshaya comes back and makes it known to the whole wide world and there's without a shadow of a doubt legion, yes, that legion. Alright. So, this is what we speak, and it's blasphemy. It cannot coexist with truth. That's why it's totally out. They have installed chips and cracks in Hebrew language when they have taken the Hebrews captive, Yeshurun, when they took Yeshurun captive and into Babylon, they made them worship idols and made them worship their words, legion. They had to speak their words and take on their meanings and definitions. So therefore, when they came back, a lot of stuff was transferred to hybrid or slang, if you want to call it. It was Babylon, okay? So check this out. Look, check this out. They call themselves the sons of God, right? So the sons of God, they have a part in the story. That's what you got to understand. When when the Hebrews were taken captive and at war and stuff like that, this is the times of when like Nimrod roamed the earth and stuff like that. Also Nebuchadnezzar's and stuff like that, Xerxes and stuff like that. All right, Darius's and Daniel's and stuff like that. This is when the heights of man was taken down. All right, by the sons of what they call themselves, the sons of God. Okay, by confusion, they confused them. How did they confuse them? They took them captive and changed their languages. All right, they changed their dates, they changed their times. Then you put them back together, and then they're at war with themselves. All right, you understand that? And then there's a foot in the door, and then it invites 7 more evil spirits in, and then you got all these other denominations and stuff like that came in with schisms, and it's Armageddon. You know, the troops are lining up. All right. So, and the thing is, the people have been taken far and wide to all 4 corners of the earth. All right. And you guys don't even understand what the earth is. All right. This Mahdi dude, when he tried to describe, he's gonna have, the Antichrist is gonna have one eye. The right eye is going to be missing, right? I showed you guys exactly what the Antichrist is. You guys are slipping, all right? You guys are slipping. You guys are asleep. You guys are sloppy. Here, let me go ahead and pause this while the youth walk by, because they're going to get loud. Okay. Now remember, I told you guys, they all have one mind. Now, all these different spirits, these 4 spirits, like, they all have these 4 horsemen. They are upon the earth. They're in our face, and you guys are talking about prophecies, but the whole point of the Most High saying, like he can put this stuff right in front of your face. You're like, they'll be ever learning but never retaining, meaning like you couldn't put 2 and 2 together because you couldn't retain the first thing to put the second thing together, because you can't retain the second thing either to even have you couldn't retain. You just can't retain because the language doesn't allow that. Okay, the spell, all right, the language is a spell. All right, it's a casted spell on your minds and your conscience. The English language is a spell. All right, and it's a water spirit. All right, it's a language of money, merchant money. When you said merchant, mermaid, merman, bankers, merchants, it's money. And I always wanted to reference to you guys about money. Like when they say in God we trust, on the money. All right. And it shows you Babylon on the money, which is the pyramid of Egypt. All right, on the money. And you're not understanding. Just like the serpent has many heads, Egypt has many heads. Many, money, heads. Money on your mind, heads, money, heads. Many heads, money, heads, money minds. It's just all there, fam. It's no way that you can get around it because it describes itself. It tells on itself. It boasts and brags about itself. Money talks. Many different ways. All right? And at the end of the day, when they say the dragon gives the power to the beast to work for the world to worship the beast, all right? When they put that mark on you, the mark is the money. You become the money. You're official. You are officially a bank, a currency, a money changer, if you will. You are a host of legion. Physically, in your physical being. Okay? It is the metal and the iron and the clay that should not mix. Okay? It's the alloy. What's alloy? It's a hybrid. Watch this. Hold on. Let me slow my roll real quick. So the reason why I got on the Mahdi and the money, all right, check this out. Like, he said a lot of things that are obvious, you know what I mean? That's like the weather. You can see that coming a mile away, but you can't discern the signs of the times, all right? He's talking about these prophecies and this and that. He's just regurgitating and reading off of a dang script. His whole role. Here, give me a second. So he reads from a script that is well prepared and well written. Okay? It's a scheme, it's a plot, it's a plan. The Most High said, do not worry about what you will say. All right, in the day that you are to be a witness, called, prophesize, or speak. Testify. Okay? So when I speak to you, it's not really much prepared. It's already written. Okay? I'm not telling you nothing new. As in the beginning, so too shall be in the end. What's new about this? There's nothing new under the sun, is what we're told. Okay? And the Son is the Word. And the Son obeys the Word. Okay? So the name, the Christ, the Christos, the name, the anointed, all right, the name, there's nothing new under the name. Okay? He said, I'll give you my new name, but there is nothing new under the new name. I shouldn't say nothing new under the new name. There's nothing new under the name, which is what's already here. All right, the Son is the name. Like when you say the Son of the Most High, it's His name. He is invisible. He has a representation, a calling, an anointment. It's His name. Okay? It's called His name. He has a christening. It's called His name. Okay? That's you guys don't understand. What are you christened? What are you christened? Christened means, what are you named? You're like, oh, I'm a Christian. Yeah, it means you got a name. Okay, but what is your name? You test all spirits by the fruit. All fruits by the Spirit. So, like, there's a name, there's a christening. That means you're called something. You are named something. You're anointed something. You are chosen to be something. Okay? That's all that really means. You are set apart by this name. That is what this word Krios means. It's name. All right? Now, I was looking up, even the Mahdi was talking about the people from the land of Canaan and all. Oh no, not the Mahdi. The other guy was talking about the people from the land of Canaan and stuff like that. But let me get into the name over here. I want you guys to see something that's very crucial. All right, it's crucial when it comes to having just listen to flat out evidence. He said, any man that can calculate the name of the number of the beast, his number is 600 score and 6. 3 score is 60 because 1 score is 20. 3 score is 60. Okay. All right. So it's 606 and 6. All right. Now, when you go over here to the gematria calculator, and what did I say the name of the Most High is? I said it's Yah, right? And I said his son's name is Yahshua, right? So he is Yahshua, right? He is the Yasha of Yah. He is the only one, all right? Period. He is Yahshua, Yasha and Yah, all right? And they are who Enoch walks with. They are who John walks with. They are who grace walks with. Salvation and the spirit of create. Okay, do you understand? Creation goes with salvation, and salvation goes with grace. All right, that's how no man may come unto the Father but by me, who is the salvation of the creation. And then no man may come unto the salvation but by grace, who is exactly the grace of the salvation. So you wouldn't have the grace without the salvation, but then you want to get to the salvation without going to the grace. No, that ain't going to happen like that. It ain't going to happen like that. All right, so it's just like saying, you know, it's the same that goes when he says there's sin in the world. Like, if there were no sin in the world, there would be no need for salvation. All right, there would be no need for salvation. But since there is sin in the world, synapse, you know, then there has to be salvation. It's going to come a point in a time where salvation will be drawn out, be called upon, and he will answer. All right. It only takes the truth. It only takes the truth. He said there will be no sacrifice needed. He said, my blood is all that matters, and you guys are all mine. It's done. Because he understood, like, he came in the flesh. Once he came in the flesh, it is done. And sacrifice, it's over. It's over. He came and he sacrificed that perfect flesh gracefully in salvation in the name of his Father, Yah, Yasha, Yah. And that's the whole story right there. So when you say anti-Yasha, Yah, you're gonna get that 666 on the gematria when you try to ciphers. Let's do them all. Select all. Update. You say anti. And even Mikahaya, which is one who is like Yah. You guys call him Michael, but it's Mikahaya. Okay, but we'll go Yasha Yah first. Yeah, because Yah, you put that like that. Yasha, Yah. Not that one. There it goes. All right. So we could do that like that. All right. Very satanic right here. All right. Anti-Yashaya. All right. How do you know? Right. Okay. So we're gonna have Haya. I'm gonna say Haya. All right. We're gonna go meek. Anti. No, it's M-I-K. Mikaya. Is it caps? Okay. Am I saying it wrong? Mikaya. It's not Micaiah. It's Mikaya. Alright, let me see over here. Let me spell this really quick. Hold on. First, we're going to go back so we can save where we're at. Right there. And then we're going to go up over here. We're going to spell Mikaya. I have it saved already. No result. Mikaya. Okay. There's Mika. Anti-meek Yah, like Yah. So that's how you know. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if you're going there, you're blaspheming him, his son, his angel. That's what I'm saying, bro. Yashaya has the archangel Mikahiah with him. So if you blaspheme Yashaya, you blaspheme Mikahiah with him also. And we already know it just says Mikia right here. Who is like Yah? It's short for Mikahiah. Oh yeah, it's Mikahiah. That is. We can do that too. We can do that too. Check it out. It's there. Hold on. What am I spelling out? Yeah, little bugs and stuff. Okay. I knew it was a K. I knew. There's extra stuff going on in there. spelt it on. I know I've spelt it before, and I'm just a little off right now. But there's a lot of different ways of saying Mikahaya. I shouldn't say a lot of different ways, but there's different ways of saying Mikahaya, and I'm just a little slow under memory right now, because I explained this almost a year ago, if I'm not mistaken. I was big on this, just to try to let people know. So anti-Yah is 666. Just to be against Yah alone, you're in the 666 zone, right here. Okay? Just to be anti-Yah, you're alone. So that's what I'm saying. None of you guys are even proclaiming his name, bro. Like, your power is not there. I've been telling you guys, so subtle. This is as subtle I can make it. Because I don't do two things at once. Not when it comes to respecting the Most High and focusing on what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I focus all my energy and my heart on this thing to try to tell you guys the truth. I shouldn't say I try. I do. There's no trying to this. This is the truth is laid out, and I apply myself to it like grace applies to salvation, and then the story is flat out. This is what you get. All right. I'm proving it to you. I'm showing it to you. I'm showing you these. This is all related. Okay? The same way that those four horsemen have their one-mindedness. That's what I was telling you. If you're against Yah, all of those are different levels against the kingdom of Yah. All right? From the sun to the angels to his prophets, they're all lined up like pieces to match. And you're going to end up with that, the 666. Because you're going against Yah, you're going against Yashaya, you're going against Micaiah. I'm telling you. It's just not going to go well for you guys like that, huh? And you guys are not giving glory to the name of the Most High even when you're coming out, especially going up against each other. Like, it's not really, you're not supposed to be really going up against each other. There's no way to approach each other. How's it going, fam? Like, when you correct somebody, you're correcting them out of love. You don't correct them to go up against them and to crush them and to like lord it over them and use them as an example to the rest of the world that you're crushing and defeating them. No. Look, man. You got to make your movement out of tameness of the heart. You got to, that's love. Tame. All right? And to the heart. You know what I mean? That's when it comes to aheb. You know what I mean? To the word, because the Most High knows every word that you speak, every word that you think, every post that you let slip by subconsciously. He knows this. So I said to be anti-him, man, you against the own breath that come out of your mouth and in your body and to your loved ones. Or should I say your aheb ones. And you don't even, like I said, you guys are not paying attention to the language. So it's so far in view of you that even know aheb. You don't know the love. You don't have the love of the Father. Aheb is love in Hebrew. Aheb is what we in English are calling love. But in English, love is not really love, because if you look in Hebrew, it means to tame or to dominate over something. That's not love. That's not unconditional and compassionate and caring. Nope, that's none of that. That's careless. I can care less as long as you obey what the hell I say. That's what love means in Hebrew, okay? And that's what you're gonna get with the devil. All right, because he make you think one thing and say another, or he'll just beat you in submission and make you call yourself Toby, pretty much, and you just that's what you call love. All right, anyway, just trying to be blunt and to the point. I'm not trying to beat around the bush. I'm trying to fit it all in the least amount of words as possible to get you through that confusion, man. You're in Babylon. That's the point. They're babbling on and on about love this and love that, and oh, you guys got to protect this and protect that. You guys just hype yourself up and gas yourself up into straight up blasphemy and sin and debauchery, all type of snares of sin. I'm telling you, man, you just guys don't see these spirits. You don't see them for who they are truly. They dress themselves up as angels of light. So therefore you have the English language, angels of light. Look at how the cadence goes. English language, angels of light. Do you hear what I'm saying? Dress themselves up as the English language. It mostly comprised of Latin, meaning to lie hidden, legion. I proved this over and over, just as much as I proved this cipher here. You can go and look it up in the dictionary. It says legion or Latin it directly stems and means to lie hidden, L-I-E, hidden. Okay. And I'm telling you, bro, like, you guys don't understand what legion is. It hides underneath the skin. You see the person, but you don't see the spirit underneath. All right. That's why you got to judge the spirit by the fruit. You got to see what the person does. What power does the person have, or what illness was the person has. That's how you judge by the spirit inside. Okay. So, like I said, man, you judge by the spirit. You judge by the alignment, the legion. Okay. The ally. What is it allied to? You know, you judge the legion. The language is a direct representation of the house that it comes in. That's why when they start talking to demons, they gotta talk to them in Latin, because that's their language. The water spirit, the kingdom, water kingdom, the evil spirits, legion. I'm trying to tell you guys. I've been trying to tell you guys. It's the tongue. That's why you're supposed to tame the tongue. You're not supposed to heb the tongue. You're supposed to tame the tongue. Dominate. I could care less. Dominate the tongue. All right, because the tongue should obey you instead of being lazy and careless and speaking things that you do not know. And that is 9% of the world, because that's how they have us fooled. They have us fooled, man. They have us fooled because they have you speaking a language to where you have to come out of the language to start. You haven't started until you have started to learn Hebrew. Once you start putting yourself officially by yourself, just you and the Most High, the Word, just start studying any thought, any word that you have in English, look it up in Hebrew. And then, like I said, look up the phonetic sounding of the pronunciation of the word that you are thinking about in English, and find that word in Hebrew, not by definition, but just by phonetic sounding. And once you get that in, you'll understand that in English, you're saying pretty much the opposite of what you are intending to say. Because in Hebrew, you are registering to the universe, a universal language, a key, a master key, okay? The Most High's key was the key of love, understanding, quick understanding, the spirit that he created all things with, and that is Ma Aseyah. And just to be short, it's called Hebrew, but it's Ma Aseyah. It is the love of the spirit of understanding, okay? And that's the love of the Father. And that's what you guys, and like I said, man, like, I'm not knocking other languages. I'm just saying that you guys are blaspheming the Most High. I ain't gotta knock the other language. They've done enough to themselves. Wake up. All right? It's all around you. You're in an invisible field of blasphemy. It self-replicates. Like I said, the one dude said, oh man, when you're dealing with spirits, you can kill the person that the spirit is in, but then you ain't really done anything, because the person will end up coming back, or the spirit will come back through another person, and you're gonna deal with that same spirit in a worse form, stronger form. It knows you better, it knows how to get you, knows your ins and outs. It'll just it'll torture you. You know what I mean? Fallen. You're dealing with fallen familiar spirits. Familiar spirits. What's familiar? I mean, you killed one person, and then all of a sudden another, it's like a clone popped up somewhere out of a whole different land. And then you go somewhere else and run for another place, and the same spirit, I'm getting followed, I'm haunted, this and that. And yeah, you think so. No, it's a familiar spirit. It's the same spirit. That's what it's saying. Familiar, same, familiar. Okay. You guys gotta reach past the break. That was a sermon that my preacher told us when I was young, very young. I was a teenager in church. He did a sermon called Reach Past the Break. It's like, hey man, I can throw you the lifeline out there, but if the rope breaks, you're gonna have to reach past the break to pull yourself in, man. That's your only chance. You can't, if that's what life gives you, then you gotta accept that. That's walking on water. That's going with the flow. That's raw dog in reality. You want to call it that. You know what I mean? It's in the moment. There ain't no second guessing it. Reaching past the break. Where when you see something just a little bit further that looks like it's connected to this, yeah, you gotta reach past the break. Wait a second, the higher form of this. You know what I mean? Shoot. The devil's known for sitting on the side of the congregation. You gotta sling them right on up out of here. Grab a hold of them and toss them down. Shame. Put the shame on them. How do you toss them down? With light. Light propels them straight on down. What's light? The truth. That's what it is. What's the truth? The name, Krios, Christ. What's his name? The devil's christened Samuel. We call him simulation. AI. Hades. Poseidon. Zeus. Death. The beast, the false prophet. They all got one mind. The dragon. The dragon has many heads. Money on his mind. And on the money on the mind, it says, in God we trust. That's their God. That's their God. They're a little elite eight. You know? They got it going on like that. Conglomerated, integrated, compartmentalized. Oh, yeah, it'll be a hard time going up against that one. If you're not prepared to endure. That's what it's all about. It's an endurance. It's a test of endurance. So you have to study war no more. All right, guys. So like I said, man, when I go over here and I'm proving to you guys in and out the name of the Most High. All right. Oh, whoa. Go back. It was a Y. I knew it. Oh. Whoa. Excuse me. Okay. Go down here. Push this. All right. Okay. MIYKAYH. MIYKAY. MIY. Take out the H. I knew it. I was like, bro, it had to be something else to it. Why was it not? Okay. This is a capital M. Oops. MIYKAYH. Okay. Okay, so how did I spell this? I don't even know why the I was there. Because it just seems a little out of place. I'm just saying. So, meek means like. This whole part right there means like. And the kaya is supposed to go with haya. I think that's what it was. You're supposed to capitalize his name. No, it's not that. Alright, I'm at 52 minutes. But yeah, man, I've been going through this for a while, bro. Just like in my life. Okay, so I put Mikahaya. Oh. And Micaiah. It's an abbreviation from Micaiah. Okay. Oh. And that's the other way of spelling it. MICIAHIAAIH. It was MACAIH. Mikahaya. Mikaya. No. Let's put the Y there. It's not that. I wanted to put the Hayat. Mikahaya. Oh, missing the A. Okay. And then exchange the Y with the I. See, I like to go through all the different ways that things are spoken to see if anything rings a bell with the numbers also. They even got the J in there for Yah. I be trying to tell y'all, man, you gotta get back to Yah, fam. It just, you can't escape it, fam. But at the end of the day, the whole point is not to be against Yah. When they say the Antichrist, the anti-name, they refuse to call on the name of Yah. Okay? Period. And that is what you get right here. They refuse to say his name. They refuse to just say Yah. They refuse. They don't. Oh, God this and God that, and they'll call on all these other prophets and names and stuff. They say Jesus this and Jesus that. They won't go with Yah and Yasha. They won't. Yashaya, they won't say it. Not on the world stage. Nope. 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 They will not admit it. They won't. But don't worry. Written in the heavens, written on the earth, written in the blood of men. Boy, you guys don't know how much. Like he said there's more of he and me than there is in all of the world. And he was not lying, because I've already sought this out and found this to be true. I'm trying to tell you guys. There's so many different ways. That whole book is so much about him. The whole book and so much more is about him. I'm trying to tell you guys. All those countries that were against him, they're screwed, because their names are rooted in his name, his father's name. And if they didn't deny the son, then they deny the father, they deny themselves, they deny their own breath, they deny their own name. Boy, you guys are in for it. I try to tell you guys, all the ones that end in Yah, all the ones that have a Yah in them, from Estonia to Syria to, I don't care, it don't matter. Transylvania, Arabia, it don't matter. Ethiopia, it don't matter. Anybody that's going against Yah, I'm trying to tell y'all are gonna get it. Y'all are gonna get it, because y'all refuse to admit to the rest of the world. Y'all going along with the get along to I don't know, bro. Y'all sold out. You say you're going against your own soul, your own breath. And the devil come out down to you and make war with you, because he's calling you out that you're already wrong. How does he know you're wrong? Because they're the ones that invested in you being wrong in the first place. That's what you're not understanding. Of course they can call you out. It's the pot calling the kettle black. Yeah, you're a part of he's the feature, and you're just the freaking, what do they say? He's the headliner and you're just a opener type shit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are not understanding. You're all going to the same place, the furnace, all right? And get your shit together, because the day is upon us, man. You guys are looking at, there's a war going on through scripture. Battle of books, battle of words, battle of technologies, minds, ideas, armies, kingdoms rise, kingdoms fall. This is all happening so fast. And you guys really need to respect this. Take your time. These are not the days to be blowing and brushing stuff off and taking stuff personal to where you think somebody is out to do you wrong by correcting every single thing that you have been saying is blasphemy, because you're speaking a language that you do not understand. You do not understand it, and it tames you. You are the beast, and it tames you and makes you worship. It is religion, and it is the leash, and you are the beast. And it tames you to the dragon. It chains you to the dragon. You love it. All right. So I'm just trying to tell you how to have the truth in your life, man. Stop selling for these counterfeits. All right. You're up against, like I said, man, these spells, bro. It's bad spelling. Some bad spells. But I'm gonna holler at y'all a little bit later, man. To the Rabbi Hayashar Kadosh Kadash Kadash. To the Rabbi Yishai Kadosh Kadash Kadash. To the Rabbi Hebrew Ma Aseyah Kadosh Kadash Kadash. Ashar Yesharun. Anami Amen.